Alright guys, now let's have a look at a question here. It is a question on differential of calculus. We've got 3 questions, so please watch this video until the end, because I think the last question, which is this one right here, is very, very interesting. So now when you have a look at the first one here, it said y is equals to 4 square root of x is minus 8 over square root of x plus pi. Pi is just a number, guys, don't be confused. X to the power of 3. I'm just going to give you a quick lesson here before we proceed, so that you guys may understand what is happening here. So the steps on the way of how to solve questions like this one, I'm just going to put it down here. You have to use a differential by definition, which is x. If you've got x to the power of x, when you take a differential, in this case you need to bring down the n and then say x n minus 1. However guys, I'm always saying to my learners, because I saw that they struggle a bit, steps on how to solve this one, make sure that your equation is simplified. So always simplify first before you can solve, and make sure that there is no fractions. You don't have fractions on your equation. And then the other thing as well, you need to make sure that your equation is in a linear form. I will just indicate to you now as we go through examples. So what do I mean by this? So these are the steps, guys. These are very, very important steps. If you don't follow this, you will therefore have problems when you have to take the differential of an equation by definition. All right, so let's go ahead and look at this one. As you can see here, you've got a fraction here, so it's not in a linear form. So first thing first that we're going to do is to take this into a linear form. Okay, so I'm also gonna make this exponent here, which is half minus 8. Remember, from exponent, most of the simplifying that you will do in this case, it will be from an exponent point of view. So you really need to understand exponents so that you are able to solve this one. So therefore it's going to be x to the power of negative half, because it's from the bottom, plus. So guys, if you're getting lost on this channel, we do have examples on exponent and how to simplify exponents. So please, you might want to revise that quickly so that you don't get lost here. All right, so now by definition, here it's y, so it's in a linear form. So this is what I mean when I say the equation needs to be in a linear form. So everything is on the line, it's in the same line, there's no fraction, everything is simplified. So now we are ready to take the derivative. So please guys, take note, don't just go ahead and take the derivative, because you're gonna have difficulties if you have it in a fraction form. So the best way to do is to simplify first. So dy and then dx. So here, what are you gonna do? You're gonna drop the n there, which is half in this case, and then you're gonna minus 1 from the n. 1 over 2 minus 1. Same thing, 8, it needs to be multiplied. You drop the half, and then x minus 1 or minus 1 here on 1 over 2 excuse me, plus you've got pi there. Pi will multiply by this 3 here, and then x to the power of 3 minus 1. So therefore with this, you need to simplify this. You're going to be left with 2 here. Then here is going to be x to the power of negative half when you minus 1. Here you're going to be left with positive 4. You're going to have x. In this case, what you're going to have, negative half minus 3 is going to be negative 3 over 2. Therefore plus pi 3 and x to the power squared. Okay, so therefore now with this, now you can therefore say dy over dx will be equal to 2. Then you can take it backwards to the way it was here. Here you are just simplifying it, guys, so there's no need to struggle here. So whatever was in the bottom comes here. If you are confused here, guys, just hold on a minute. I'm just gonna show you something now. Plus pi, or you can put 3 this side, really doesn't matter in this case. Therefore this will be your equation. So for those of you who are confused, what am I doing here when putting this one at the bottom, guys, you'll remember from exponent that if you've got an exponent like this, and then it's it's let's say it's a square root 1 over square root like this. This can also be written as x to the power of half 1 over. So now it can also be written as 1 negative half when you take it to the top. Okay, so I hope you guys do remember this, because it's one of the things that I'm using on these equations here when I'm trying to simplify. All right. Okay, I think you guys are ready now. Let's move on to the second question. The second question here is given like this. Do we have a fraction? Yes, we have a fraction here. So we need to simplify this first. So what do we have? We've got half x squared minus 5, therefore x to the power of negative 1, because it was at the bottom, so now we're taking it to the top. So now are we ready to take the derivative here? Yes, we are ready to take the derivative. It's going to be f of x prime is going to be equals to half, what do you say, drop the n, which is 2 in this case, so it's 2x, therefore what you're gonna have here, we're gonna have 2 minus 1, drop the n here, which is 1, so it's gonna multiply with this negative here. Okay, let me not rush rather, because you guys will be confused. 5, and therefore there's a negative 1 here from the exponent or from the top, x to the minus 1, right? So therefore what we're left with is simplifying half and a half. This one will cancel out. We're going to be left with x to the power of 1. Negative 5 times negative 1 is going to be as negative positive. Therefore we're going to have x to the minus 2. The only thing that is left now is just to say x to the power of 1, then simplify further, plus 5 all over x squared. All right. If you've got a question, guys, please let me know, and then you must tell me which step and which question is easy. If, let's say for an example, if you've got a question here on question number 2, you will say question number 2 and then say I don't understand what you did here on step number 2, which is this step here. Then I will do my best to leave a comment for you as well and make sure that you understand. If you still don't understand, we'll make a separate video explaining exactly what you have a problem with, just to ensure that everybody gets that level 6 and level 7 this year. All right, so now let's move on to number 3. Number 3, we're still gonna have to simplify a little bit before we can do the question as it is. So if you have a look at this question here now, is dx is given by minus 2x squared plus fourth root of x all over 2. So the best thing to do here, we need to simplify first. So let's go ahead and simplify first. Dx square root of, if you can see here, guys, we're gonna have to divide by x squared everything, so that we make our simplify our equation. Make life easy for yourself, guys. Don't make it difficult. I mean, if you were to take a derivative as it is now, is going to be really tedious. So the best thing to do is to simplify first, make everything on a linear form like we said on the steps there. All right, so now if you can see now, as it is now, it's looking like this. So now what do we do now? We need to simplify. Okay, let's come down here and see square root of x, square root of x. So that one would cancel out. You're left with minus 2. Therefore here, guys, you will remember, if bases are the same on exponents, if bases are the same and then you are dividing, what do? You minus the exponent. Well done if you said you minus the exponent. If the bases are the same, you are multiplying, what do you do, guys? You add the exponent. So please, those things you must not forget. I have heard some learners that are using a cram pass forget. Not in this case, guys. You can't do that while you're still in grade 10, 11 and 12. You can't cram pass and forget, because some of the information you're really going to need it because you learned it in grade 10. So now the bases are the same, we are multiplying, we need to minus the exponent. So therefore, which is exactly what we did here. So we're gonna have to continue here and come here and say, all right, minus 2 plus then 1 over 4 minus 2 will give us x to the power of negative 7 over 4. Close the bracket here, and then you're gonna come here and say, all right, so now is everything in the linear form? Yes, everything is in the linear form. Are we ready to take the derivative? Yes, sir, we are ready to take the derivative. So let's go ahead and do that. The derivative on the negative 2, it's 0, so therefore we're going to leave it like that. Then here the n is minus 7 over 4. So therefore we're going to drop the minus 7 over 4. Then we're going to say x to the power of negative 7 over 4, therefore minus 1. Then we're going to deal with the fraction. This fraction here, we're going to just go and punch it in our calculator because we really don't have time to be solving this. We're going to punch it into our Casio calculator, and then it's going to give us negative 11 all over 4. All right, and that's how you would deal with questions like this of first derivative. Please guys, make sure you watch the video that follows this one because I will be doing more examples like this. And there is this question that is very, very interesting that I would like to share with you on the next video. I am Gaston Mapala. Let me see you on the next upload.